Hey guys, welcome to day 23 of our Video Every Day in April challenge. I'm your host, Selena Conmackey of How Oli Socially Inspired, and this is my co-host. Oh, darn, so close. Anna Larson of Nomad About. Together we formed our joint project, Anna and Selena, which is the go-to place for website design, digital strategy, and more.
Yes.
Hello, Anna.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready for a Saturday VEDA challenge. You know what I mean? So let's dive
Absolutely.
in. What are we talking about today?
Today we're going to be talking about SEO, search engine optimization, and that's what SEO stands for. We're just going to kind of do a 101. What is it? Why do we need it? Why is it important? A lot of people know what the term SEO, but I don't know that very many people fully understand kind of what goes behind it.
No, but hey, with 101, you need to say, I don't know, what is SEO? Right?
Yes. Okay. So search engine optimization there's basically three different kinds. But what SEO is, like the actual definition, oh, sorry. What SEO is, the actual definition is going, I'm sorry, my computer screen is glitching. Are you seeing this or is it just
Yeah,
me?
you're there. You're here. I
I'm here.
see you.
Okay. All right. Then
Yeah,
I'm just going to keep talking.
yeah.
Basically, SEO is what optimizes your website or content that you put online so that you can achieve higher rankings when the search engines provide organic results to people that are searching for content. Okay. So now one of the things I do want to mention is that SEO is not just about your website specifically. It literally is any content that you're putting online.
Yep.
Okay. Now, there's a couple of things that we want to kind of discuss in terms of this. There's actually three kinds of SEO that I want to mention. We're not going to get deep in the weeds. If you really want to know more about any of these three kinds, then there's some links or some resources that I can direct you to offline. Just drop your comment in the comments today during this live stream, and I'd be happy to connect with you. But the first one is on-page SEO. And on-page SEO is basically anything that goes on a web page. It's what people are actually reading, the content they're going to be reading, they're going to be searching. It's your blog, it's your website copy, it's the manual or the white pages that you put in there that are searchable or indexable by the search engines. The next one is your off-page SEO. And off-page SEO is anything that's not happening on your website particularly. This is going to be where your website is referred to by other people or other sites. Backlinks are off-page SEO. So this is where a link for one of my blogs gets placed on another website, and that tells the search engines this content is valuable enough that another web page wants to share it with their audience. And that's why off-page SEO is so important.
Yes, I want to just mention two things though. So there is a no follow link and a follow link. So sometimes if you are working with somebody and you're collaborating, just confirm that they're not putting a no follow reference code to your link, because then you will not get that backlink that you're hoping for.
Yes, that's a great, thank you, Selena, for adding that tip.
Yeah.
The third type of SEO that we want to mention is technical SEO. And this is what's happening on the backside of your website or your web pages. And this is what's going to improve your search rankings. This is the meta descriptions, the little snippets and things like that that show up when you do type something into Google or Bing or any of those search engines. It's that little snippet that pops up. So are you doing best practices for that kind of SEO? Are you putting keywords in your content and then navigating that back end area to make sure that your search rankings are going to be the highest possible? And those are the three different types of SEO. Now, something that we did want to mention today is, did you know text in any graphics is not searchable? It can be searched, it can be indexed. It is not going to help your SEO. So if your website consists of a bunch of different graphics telling people about what you do, your website is not going to receive a high SEO ranking, because none of that content is something that a search engine can find, index, and tell people is valuable content.
Right. So like Anna was mentioning, I mean, if you were like, but I love my graphic, that's fine. But then put underneath or somewhere that is readable what that is, right?
Yeah.
Because also for accessibility purposes, sometimes that image also cannot be read. So somebody that is coming to your site won't be able to see it. So twofold here: SEO and accessibility.
Yeah, good. That's perfect.
Mhm,
Okay, now we want to get into the why. Why do you need SEO? Now that we've kind of covered kind of the basics of what it is and the three kinds and
mhm,
the fact that it's way bigger than most people think. Like I
mhm.
know it might even feel a little bit overwhelming, but why do we want SEO? One of the first things is that SEO is what's going to help you know what your users are finding valuable. So, if you haven't set up like Google Analytics, where you can double check and see what pages on your website people are going to,
Oh
or
yeah.
you can use a tool. We should have thought about this toolkit, Hotjar, where you can actually set it up on your website and it shows you where users are actually clicking, how far down your page they're getting with your content, what
Mhm.
they find most useful on the actual page. So
Yep.
those are two things that you should be using as with your websites or
Mhm.
your web content to show yourself what is my users finding valuable in the content that I'm providing them.
Right. And look, Google Analytics is free.
Mhm.
So,
I think
um,
Hotjar has a free user account also.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's
So go check those two tips out just to kind of, is all your SEO work that you're putting into it that Anna just described earlier, are they going to where you want them? Are you being found? And how you'll find that out is by looking at your Google Analytics and seeing kind of where they've landed on your website.
exactly. And that really leads us to the second reason why you need SEO, which is SEO is going to help you create a website that is more user friendly, faster, and easier to navigate. And why do we want this? Well, keep in mind that Google is a business just like everyone else. They want to provide the best content to their users. So that's why they have these analytical things that are searching for that content, why they look at things like backlinks, why they want your meta description to fit certain parameters. It's because they want to make sure that when you type in, hairdresser near me, it's not throwing you off into some hairdresser that's in a completely different city that's not valuable to you, because then you get frustrated with their company and their services and move on
Right.
to something else. So remember that Google is a business just like you are.
Right. They have their reasons. Well, I mean, obviously, and I think, here's the reason, right? They give you this great free tool because maybe at some point you are going to want to use Google Ads, which is in itself, but I think, like Anna said, it's super valuable. Um I think with SEO, like I said, it's helping you guide how people want to consume your content.
Yep.
And so, and there's things being said, like, Anna, when we talk with our clients, we don't use like in-house terminology because that's not someone on the outside would look searching for them. So you want to use the more normal term, right? And
Yeah.
there's all the things, all the stuff. So
Yeah, in fact, tomorrow, if you tune in on with us on Sunday, we're going to give you our 10 best practice tips for SEO. And it does include little tips like that. I might have actually shared one or two of them already, but
yeah,
we're going to go ahead and give you 10 best
yeah,
practice tips for SEO use. So join us tomorrow, and we'd love to see you on our VEDA Live. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Bye, guys. See ya.